All right, I've got to talk about this silent walking that I heard about the other day. I asked some co-workers if they'd ever heard about it, and they said no. I explained what it was, and they just got puzzled looks, and one of them just turned to me and said, "That's just walking. Why is it silent walking?" I said, "I don't know, man. I've been doing it my whole life." The idea that I can walk along the road without earphones in my ear, earbuds, over the ear headphones or anything like that, just pumping noise into my head, dulling my senses of survival out in the wilds of the world. The idea that just walking without that is strange and new is a ludicrous concept. The person on TikTok thinks they invented it. Well, not only did they not invent it, if we go back 100,000 years or 200,000 years where we're hunting and gathering, if you're on a hunt, you're walking through the bush in silence because you don't want to spook the animal. That alone is silent walking. Nothing wrong with that. That's a part of just living. All my days of going to school, now I'm not certainly one to say that I walked 20 miles to school uphill in both directions. I'm certainly not doing that. But I walked about a mile to school and back because that was about the bus cut-off. If I lived maybe a couple hundred metres further out, I would have been given a bus pass, but I didn't, so I had to walk. That was just the reality of my school. But back then, of course, when I went to school, that was back in when Moses paid fullback for Jerusalem sort of days, there was nothing electronic to shove into your ear to dull your senses in the world. You're walking to school. How do you know if a dog's coming up behind you from someone's house because they haven't shut the gate properly? How do you know if a car's not coming up behind you? Now, generally when I walk on the street, I don't walk on the street, I walk on the footpath. But when I walk on the footpath, which is adjacent to street, I try to walk on the side of the road that I am with oncoming traffic. So that is, I'm facing the traffic that's coming towards me. So if a car is suddenly out of control, I can see it and take evasive action. I try to avoid walking where the car's coming up behind me. Now, I don't fear that a car is suddenly going to pull up and 4 burly guys get out and kidnap me. I'm not fearing that. But I can't, if it starts to go out of control, I have less reaction time. I've then got to first turn around to see what's going on before I can then react to it. Now, there's been times when I can hear the car slowing, and if I hear that and I'm near a driveway, I just stop. I stop before I turn around because I think the car wants to take the driveway. And at times, I've just stopped entirely and not even turned around, and the car's just gone zoop. And then I've thought to myself, I wonder if that car thought I was unusual because I just stopped. I wonder if the driver thought, how did he know I was coming? Because we live in a world where everyone is plugged into noise all the time, that to see someone not plugged in might kind of be a strange thing to see. So this silent walking idea, certainly not new. This TikToker didn't invent it. And not only did they not invent it, I have found a walking club in the United Kingdom, and I think they're based in London, somewhere around London, in that area in England. And their first silent walk, and that's what they call it, silent walking, was in 2000. 23 years ago was the first time they had their first inaugural silent walk as a group. And their rules are very simple. There's no talking on their walk. That's it. They can meet up at the train station that the walk starts at, so they'll catch a train to the location. They meet up there, we're all ready, and off they go. They walk in silence as a group. So there might be 4 or 5, 10 or whatever, however many is in this group walking, but they don't talk while they're walking. They just walk in silence. They follow a route. They have a lunch stop. They get to lunch, and then at lunch they can talk. Once they go from lunch back to the train, they shut up again. Like I said, 23 years ago that group started, and they're still going today. So the idea that some random TikToker invented this idea called silent walking is completely ludicrous as well. But not only that, look at this article, how to get started with silent walking. This one bamboozles bamboozles me. I think I need to do silent talking. It bamboozles me more than the idea of a TikToker thinking silently walking unplugged is new. It can be as simple as lacing up your trainers and leaving the house. No, it's not can be. It is as simple as put on some shoes. Fuck it. You don't even need to put on shoes. Go out in bare feet if you want to. Doesn't matter. Just walk. Walk out the door. Put your phone on silent in your pocket. Take your phone in case you need it for emergency. And just fucking walk. Walk to the shops. Don't take the car. You're probably only driving a mile. Walk there and back. Who cares? Just walk. The fact that someone needs to title something, how to get started walking without plugging something into your head. This ain't rocket science. Be aware if you're not used to silence, it might feel strange. How the fuck would it feel strange? I'm sure these people, you know what? No, these people have probably never walked in their life. They've probably been dropped off to school. I was just going to say walking to school, but no, they've probably never even done that. Lean into the discomfort. How can walking without being plugged in the noise be discomforting? That's bamboozling me. Your walks might feel longer, but that's okay. No. You know what I do when I'm walking? I look around. I pay attention to what's going on in the world. Are there cars going past? And what's the footpath look like? Am I about to trip over? I'm looking around while I'm walking. I'm taking in the world I live in. I don't know what these people are doing. I don't know why it would think. And then to say, this is totally normal and over time you'll get used to it. Why would I need to be encouraged to get used to being able to walk without something plugged in? It's not, I'm not doing 10 push-ups. It's like, don't worry, if you can only do 2, over time you'll get used to it and you'll build up to 10. It's not like that. It's just goddamn fucking walking. You might slip into boredom. How can you slip into boredom? You've got your brain just constantly going. Your brain's constantly going. Your brain can't hold two different thoughts at the same time. I can't write an essay on a book I've just read while I'm also trying to think about how to repair my car or motorbike or push bike or skateboard or whatever. I can't do those two separate thoughts, one or the other. When I'm plugged in, I can only think about what I'm plugged in to. That's all I can think about. Otherwise, I don't have my own thoughts. If the thought of heading outside with your without them fills you with dread, how can this fill anyone with dread? Do they fear their own thoughts that much? I don't know. If you know, let me know down below. That seems a bit strange to me. Make a prospect more appealing. Set yourself a more bite-sized challenge when you begin. In other words, do shorter walks because you might find it too overwhelming to walk without constant noise in your head. Vary your route to keep it interesting because you're such a boring person you can't listen to your own thoughts in your head. Like I said, I'm walking a mile to school and back every day. I don't have anything plugged in. There's no varying my route. It's the same route. How about looking at the world around you when you walk? I'm walking, it's like, damn, I never noticed that hedge before. Don't put your hand in it. There might be something creepy and crawly in there, give you a bite. But just have a look at the hedge. Take notice of it. Have a look at the cracks on the footpath. I don't know. It's not something that you need an article to tell you how to silently walk. This bamboozled me more than anything. Now, my co-workers were equally stunned that this was a thing. And like I said, the fact it was even a term surprised me. A TikToker certainly didn't invent it. And that a walking club has existed for over 2 decades. And their whole aim is to walk together without saying a word. Well, that's interesting as well. Hey, let me know what you think down below.